All right, everybody, welcome. We've got ourselves an interesting little thing that we're going to be doing today. We are going to be doing a live dig. So let me get everybody unmuted here. Everybody can unmute yourselves if you're listening.
All right, there we go.
We have a special guest and quiet voice with us today. He decided he wanted to give us a hand. But anyway, so what we're going to do today is last night, Regium posted something. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the screen share here so that everybody can see what we're doing. And we're going to just kind of dive right into this here. Okay. So, Michael, I'm going to mute you because you got quite a bit of noise in your background, buddy. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got a post about that Regium or Resigium, or if you read it correctly, I believe it's Magister backwards. This is about a $6 million Whidbey Island survival compound that's for sale in Seattle, Whidbey Island. Everybody knows, obviously, Whidbey Island for the missile launch, and everybody remembers the Q400 plane crash that didn't happen at Whidbey, but was another island in Seattle, and everybody associates it, even though it was 50 miles apart, completely different place. So this place is pretty wild. I mean, you're looking here at one of the escape tunnels that's underneath it. So it's pretty fascinating. So the first thing you do is you kind of go and you put in the source article. Now, before I go there, let me explain what this is all going to be about. The whole point of this and what I'm doing here and what we're showing is we're going to do this as a group. So everybody have your DuckDuckGo ready and everything ready to go. But we're going to be looking at the path that you take to find information. You see something like this and you go, whoa, wait a minute. There's something funky there. Let's take a look at it. Well, not everybody has the tools to do so or the knowledge to be able to pursue this. So what we're doing is we're going to show you the way to do this, or a way, not the way, because everybody has their own way. This is my way. Whatever, it works.
Yeah,
everybody has their own path and their own process, and some people's are more focused towards names and words and stuff. Mine is more obviously map oriented because that's kind of how I think. I'm a very visual person. So what we'll do is first thing you dive into is your DuckDuckGo, and you'll type in Seattle times Whidbey Island compound. Spell it would help. Okay, so first hit here. For sale, Whidbey Island survival compound. Okay, so this is the same article right here, Seattle Times. You can tell this was pretty recent because it's November 21st, 2020. So we've got the link here. Now, what I like to do with these is I like to always right-click and open link in a new tab, because that way you never lose your search results. You can have this in its own new tab. You can do your own thing. You don't have to worry about it. Your search results will stay. So we open link in new tab. And this kind of sucks because some of my Zoom stuff is in the way. So bear with me just a second here. You guys might not see it, but it blocks my view.
No, I understand how that works.
So we'll do it this way. Okay. So here's our for sale $6 million Whidbey Island survival compound, stocked to withstand the pandemic. Well, that sounds pretty wild. So if we keep looking, We'll dig down a little ways and we'll find that it was owned by former PetSmart CEO W.R. Ford Smith II. Okay. Now this is getting a little more interesting. The reason this is becoming more interesting is because, number one, CEO. Okay. I mean, do I need to say any more? I mean, one of the things I've got open up here is the resignation info thread so that we can go and look at that. Okay. So that's kind of what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking the information you find in each one of these and pursuing it. So we can go this way, which takes us in one direction, but let's see if we can find the compound, the house itself. Now, if we look at this picture, we've got an address right here, 422. They actually give us an address on the picture. They're trying to keep it secret, but they give us the address. Yeah, riddle me that one.
Yeah. No joke.
So I like to use Zillow because Zillow is a handy little thing to use. And Zillow has a lot of options and a lot of powerful things that are connected to it that most people don't realize. It's actually kind of stupid how much information you can get out of it, and it's discomforting, really. So this is Whidbey Island. It's got highlighted here. I've got Whidbey Island, Washington, just so it cuts off everything. So for sale, I went minimum price range 900,000 to max any price because, well, we know that we're in the $6 million range. So we start looking, and we've got a couple undisclosed addresses here. I don't see anything else in that price range other than those two, but we know it's 6 million, not 5.5 million. So let's go ahead and pull this one. Okay. Now it's an undisclosed address on Coopville, but we see it's right on the water. Okay. We also see that there's some pretty identifiable buildings here. You've got this big shop, things like that. So we scroll through all these pictures. We see if there's anything interesting, and there's a lot of interesting stuff. I'll play the video. Looks like there's some gardens and stuff that should be fairly identifiable by their shape. Okay. So there is the link doesn't show up here, but where did I put it? Oh, don't tell me I deleted it. Whoops. Bad Danno. There was a link to a video. There it is right there. Virtual tour. Again, open link in new tab. And we'll just let this play. Because I want everybody to get a feel for what this place is. And you'll understand why it raises even more questions as we go.
In the northern part of the Puget Sound in Island County is a rare opportunity to own a beautiful and safe waterfront compound. Located on a protective island, it is situated far enough away from the Seattle metropolis suburbia, but close to necessary amenities. This complex offers seclusion and security amongst stunning natural beauty. 60 lush acres provides plenty of room for expansion, and the opportunity to build is already available. Included in the listing are 2 impressive homes. The secure house has been over-engineered for preservation of life, with bulletproof and fire-resistant walls, a safe room, and underground tunnel for quick escape. The caretaker's house is a charming and completely remodeled addition to this estate.
No.
The 5-bay, 9,000 square foot shop provides more than just your average storage and workspace. Women's and men's locker rooms with showers, full kitchen, a large office, forestry shop, and workshop. Fertile and well-irrigated gardens provides 3 orchards of 100 and more fruit trees and berries. Greenhouses and chicken coop for completely off-the-grid and sustainable. 2020 has proven that life-threatening events will occur, whether it's a pandemic, a riot, or a financial catastrophe. For the discriminating individual who is looking for a turnkey situation to protect their family in any eventuality, this property is for you. The property also includes 4 wells, a 53,600-gallon water storage silo, and thrice redundant pump house. There are also 4 installed propane generators for power grid down emergencies. 17 1,000-gallon propane tanks are located throughout the grounds, and 2,300 gallons of diesel fuel, along with 1,000 gallons of gasoline, are securely stored near the shop. 3,000 feet of fencing and a good start in the blackberry bramble buffer surround the property. The following on-site equipment and materials are also included with the purchase of this property. Farming construction vehicles with more than a dozen implements will assist in continued development and maintenance. Significant long-term food storage and insulated containers provide dozens of man-years of emergency sustenance. Sheltering supplies are also included, ranging from wool blankets, deluxe cots, stoves, building materials, laundry equipment, portable generators, and cooking supplies. A communication shelter that doubles as a Faraday cage, protecting electronics from an EMP, is also available. Everything about this property was well thought out and designed to provide fun, recreational opportunity, as well as the ultimate secure family refuge. The 9,000 square foot shop is a multi-purpose space with an array of uses. The over-engineered concrete and steel building has additional shear strength added with T111 plywood walls on metal studs and beams, making it virtually earthquake-proof. The first half of the shop is 4,500 square feet that could accommodate 5 18-wheel semi-trucks and trailers, emergency supply storage, or anything you need, including boats, a car collection, or RVs. Each bay has a front and back door for pass-through maneuvering. It has plenty of skylights, daylight windows, and high glass steel roll-up doors to provide natural work light throughout the day. At each end, there are 60 by 25 foot storage walls, one for building materials and one for all manner of life-sustaining supplies. Currently it stores 4 large insulated containers for dry food storage that hold temperatures consistently at 60 degrees without power. The second half of this shop includes a full-size kitchen with stone countertops and a large range that can provide meals for up to 50 people. This kitchen is also set up for freeze drying, dehydrating, and canning the harvest from the garden. There are men's and women's locker rooms with showers and storage spaces, easily maintained with waterproof drywall and tiled wall skirt. There is a well-equipped forestry shop with a specialty tool hanging wall, compressed air outlets, and also serves as a double vehicle garage. In the next room is a large wood shop with 12 in-floor 110 and 220 electrical outlets, and extensive purpose-built cabinetry that holds well-organized tools and supplies. This space can also be used as a gym. Nearby, a large office provides a workspace with a modern wall system, Wi-Fi, and houses a large, prospering, off-the-grid library. Among the 60 acres of property are bountiful and sustainable farm and garden space. One large garden includes a fenced-in growing field for a variety of fruits, vegetables, and starches. There are 3 orchards, as well as 150 blueberry and berry vine plants for harvesting. There are 2 deluxe, double glazed greenhouses with a potting shed. Each glass greenhouse has doors in each end, shade curtains, thermostat controlled air circulation with fans, full length side and top window panel lights, along with thermostat controlled heating, growing benches. Next to the greenhouses, there are 300 feet of waist high, maintenance free raised garden beds for more comfortable caretaking. Nearby, a 30 by 40 foot hothouse is sited, ideal for tomatoes and peppers. A chicken coop is also available with a dozen chickens, providing almost a dozen eggs per day. All of these features are fully irrigated from a dedicated garden well. There is also an electrical generator to run the greenhouse temperature and irrigation controls should main grid power fail. All of these integrated systems make this an ideal sustainable garden and farm all year long. From a casual glance, the safe house appears to be an elegant and classic neighborhood home. It features 2 bedrooms, both with ensuite bathrooms and walk-in closets. Spacious living areas, granite countertops, and a modern kitchen, and a family room in the basement. On closer inspection, this seemingly normal 2-story home is revealed to be an easily defended fortress in disguise. With bulletproof walls made from insulated concrete forms, filled with rebar and concrete mixed with helix, an ultra-strong metal fiber used for ballistic-resistant military force structures. ICF construction also provides excellent insulation, maintaining a comfortable temperature at almost no cost, and regularly survives wildfires. The home has its own 2 underground 1,000-gallon propane tanks to supply the gas range, fireplace, and an integrated electrical generator for power outages. The second wood-fired stove is also included to ensure warmth and cooking is possible in a power outage. Behind the bookcase is a hidden access to the basement and family. It includes a secret tunnel to and from the forest, providing a quick and concealed getaway. No matter the direction of a threat, this house is designed to be defended from any vantage point. The caretaker home sits just 2 lots away from the safe house, backing up to the 60-acre property and a few hundred feet from the shop. This charming rambler was completely rebuilt and remodeled. The home provides a spacious and modern kitchen with granite countertops and a gas range. There is a comfortable living area with a propane fireplace. Each of the 2 bedrooms has its own ensuite bathroom with granite countertops. An additional half bath with granite countertops and a laundry room. The master bedroom, living room, and kitchen all face the forest. Surrounding the food garden area, there are approximately 35 acres of forest, populated with alder, hemlock, fir, and spruce, with ATV trails winding throughout. There are also several dispersed areas for foraging of native berries and flora. To the west is an additional 15-acre waterfront parcel with 864 feet of beach waterfront. A large lawn and clearing can be used for a multitude of purposes. It currently serves as a recreation area, providing space for lawn games, barbecues, campfires, a large stocked woodshed, and a screened log cabin that sleeps more than a dozen if needed. This space is also the location for a future building site. Overlooking the Puget Sound, this home site features an incredible view. 6 1,000-gallon filled propane tanks are already on site to service a future home. This property has been well maintained and built by a team of people, including 2 skilled caretakers who have been working on this property for 17 years. One of the caretakers is an accomplished builder, and the other a knowledgeable handyman and do-it-all. This team could be available for a smooth transition or permanent position. This entire property, its design, and uses have been well thought out over more than a decade to provide the ideal and ultimate safe estate. It's a balanced mix of security, usability, and recreation. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own one of Island County's largest and most spectacular view properties that serves as a safe, secure, and private compound. We hope you are the one to make the move.
Okay. So now you got an idea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you understand why I kind of took a look at this one and went, oh, this one's going to be something that, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a video. I'm going to save that because I actually want to get that video saved. So the big question is where? It's undiscovered or undisclosed, blah, blah, blah. Well, it says it's in Coopeville, Washington, 98239. So we can go to Zillow and we can, come on, go away. We can type in here, Coopeville 98239. And what that does is it narrows down our search window to just Coopeville. Now we want to change our map back to satellite. And I don't want that. It's misbehaving here. All right. Well, anyway, Coopeville is right here. Oh, I guess there's a $1.3 million house there. But Coopeville encompasses a pretty big area here. Now, one of the things I noticed is that it was on the water, so that limits where you're going to look for it. It looked to me like it was east facing, mainly because there was quite a bit of room between the house and the water and the next island over. It wasn't close like this distance here, and it wasn't also in a cove like this. So we can pretty much rule out the west side of the island or the east side of the island. I think it's west facing. So we can zoom in pretty quickly. And just scroll down here.
Would you look at that?
Nope, not yet.
So what you're doing, Danno, a lot of what I see is you're using like land markers to kind of determine the direction.
Right. I'm basically utilizing what I saw in the video and what I've seen in the pictures to determine what's there. Now, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a big garage, a huge shop, and those garden plots, which are pretty unique.
Yeah.
So we can stay zoomed out a little bit. Maybe not quite as far as I am. Whoa, what had just popped into view there? Hello. How about a big garage?
Oh.
A garden?
Oh, there. Yeah, that's the one right there.
That's it.
You can see it.
Right there. So, okay, now we know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's the next step. Now, there was 2 houses that were included, and because I've already done some of this, I know what's all involved here. I'll tell you right now that this sale includes this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, not this. His garden's on somebody else's property here, by the way. This house and this house. Okay. So it's pretty significant. I mean, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different parcels with this deal, based on what they showed me and based on what I've found as far as the searches go. So the nice thing about Google or about Zillow is you can click on something and it gives you an address up here. Okay. Now, the other thing that you can do with Zillow is you can go and find tax history. If you go down to tax history, you can go to the county website and find the assessor info. Now, this is going to be slightly different for every county, but this is an important tool for you to use. It's a very important tool. Okay, so what we do is we go tax and assessment. Wait a minute. Is that where I want to be? Parcel search. Sorry, wrong one. Parcel search. And you got to go, I agree. They always want you to agree.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're going to pick is you're going to pick property address. So we know it's 488 Twisted Tree. Okay. And that's all you're going to put in there is 488 and then Twisted Tree. Okay. And you're going to hit enter. And there you go. It comes up with the property. And more importantly, it comes up with a name. So we can click on this and view the details so that everybody can see what's going on here. It gives the legal description of where it is, et cetera, et cetera. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the name, copy it, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to put in owner name. I'm going to paste. I'm going to search that. Well, there you go.
Well,
we now have 5 properties that this guy owns. Now, they're almost all part of this. There's one that's not. This one here on Green Bank, which if we go to view details, well, I'll actually do it one better. I'll just go to Google Earth and bang it in. 3653 Oceanside. Okay. So this house here is also his. Now I've got a marker there. And the property we're looking for is right there. You can see the big garage right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we can drop a pin. Boom. Just call it garage. Oops, come on. Okay, so now we can measure if we wanted to. So we can take our measuring tape and measure it in miles. And it's only 3.5 miles away. So it's right down the way, not that far. Okay. So we've got our garage, this house, which is the bulletproof house, this one, which is just the caretaker lodge.
Yeah, the caretaker's place.
Yeah. And then this little chunk of property right here, which you can see the SUV. You've got the off-road vehicle trails. You got the fortified garage with one of the orchards. You've got this yard that's every picture I've seen is there's been nothing planted here. It's been bare. And you've got these two here. And then you've got the waterfront one that's got these 2 homes. I think that the plan was to probably build some monster mansion here, and they just never did it. But anyway, so we've got a place, and let me form the picture once again. Whidbey Island is known for human trafficking. It's known in the area. I mean, the whole Puget Sound is rife with it, but Whidbey Island's really well known for it. We've got a pretty well-equipped property that seems like it could ride out any storm, but it also could very easily hide 100 people.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would ever know.
Easy.
Because they've got plenty of supplies. They've got plenty of food. They don't draw power off the grid. None of that. It's all self-contained.
Yeah. Enough toilet paper to survive anything.
Exactly. So, yeah, because, I mean, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
You
won't starve if you have that.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh. the implications there. I just don't want to go.
At least we know where it all went now.
But I mean, you could easily stash a bunch of people here and not ever know. And we know that there's an underground tunnel from this house to the forest. So going this way. Okay. Well, what else is here that's underground? We don't know. I mean, maybe there's a reason that they never planted anything over here. And then when we read the Seattle Times article, we saw that it was owned by a CEO of a major corporation. I mean, PetSmart's not exactly what I call a major corporation, but it's pretty big. I mean, it's bigger than anything I own.
If you're the CEO, you're not going to be hurting much.
No, you obviously have the money to do this. Mm-hmm. And, you know, did everybody catch the reloading stations in the wood shop? 4 of them?
5 semi-trucks. That was crazy.
Yeah, and all that food and stuff. I mean, this is like end of the world type thought process here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're preparing for something.
Yeah, and there was actually a 5th reloader in the car on the cart in the shop that was in the box still. So I mean, this is not just a, you know, hey, it's a, you know, nice, warm, friendly little compound for everybody. This is a well-armed, well-stocked, well-secured, bulletproof, i.e. expecting a shootout type crap.
Yeah.
Place, you know. So okay, that's a pretty interesting mentality. And you're a CEO of a pet food company, and you have this kind of mentality.
Yeah, it's like, who are you really?
Yeah, I mean, who and what?
Yeah.
So we have a name. Now, the name was given to us in the Seattle Times article, but we also arrived at it through another way. We arrived at it through the parcel search, finding where it was. So I'm showing you guys how you can come up with this info. The scary thing is this info can be used to find anybody. If I get an address, I can find out who owns that house. It's kind of scary, the information that's out there publicly on the computer. That's why it's really important for you as a nons to keep yourself pretty low key, because it's not that hard to figure out who you are. And there's people on the other side that can do this stuff. So this is something that, you know, we all need to be aware of and understand that whatever we're doing here, other people can do to us. And we have to be aware of that. And it's not illegal. It really isn't. So that's the thing that we all have to be aware of and be conscious of and pay attention to as we go forward here.
Yeah.
So let me get rid of Google Earth here. That was my video. Let's see, where was I here? Parcel search. I got a bunch of tabs open for the assessor. Okay. So another thing that's going to be in your bag of tricks is this particular website right here. Everybody needs to have this particular website tagged, because when we run across this kind of thing, we need to be able to search and find out. Now, we know that this guy was a CEO, but we don't really know when he wasn't the CEO anymore. So what we'll do is we'll take in some of the names of what we found. Smith. Now this should return us a bunch of things. Okay, Smith. Will Smith, Richmond Police Department. No. Now again, what this is a guy that's been keeping track of all the resignations that have happened since about 2017. Hey, Spiff, what up, man? Good to see you. I don't have a thing on my wall behind me. I'm sad.
He really wants that, Spiff.
Anyway, so we scroll through here. We're looking for, what was the name we found?
Smith.
W.R. Ford Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's just see if we can see anything with Smith that looks like W.R. Ford. Oh, there's a William. But that's, yeah, U.S. District Court of Rhode Island. That's not going to jive with what we already know. There's plenty of Smiths here, by the way.
Yeah, there are. I mean, it's not that common of a name, I think.
Yeah, I could have picked an easier one, right?
Yeah, like brown or white, maybe.
Yeah, Jones. You know,
Yeah, Jones.
Johnson would have been
Perfect.
real easy.
Mhm.
I'm just not seeing anything that's jumping out at me, which
Hmm.
doesn't really mean anything, because it could easily have happened prior to when records were getting kept. So we started about middle of 2017 is when we'll say that this started up. We could look under Ford Smith. We'll just type in the word Ford. I like to single it because, you know, is it Smith Ford? Is it Ford Smith? You know, whatever. So there's plenty of Fords as well. A lot of them are Ford Motor Company, which I find interesting.
Yeah, that guy's name, man.
Patrick Ford.
I'm just not seeing anything, and that's going to include, you know, people's partial names too. So Brad Ford, you know,
Yeah.
is going to come up. So it's just going to add you. It's just going to give you a ton. Wow, Bill Russo. I actually know him. So I'm just not seeing anything here that's jumping out at me. So let's take this and let's bang that name in here.
That was me, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. W.R. Ford Smith. So back to our W.R. Ford Smith.
Do we know if this guy's still alive?
Not necessarily. Corporation Wiki. Here we go. This looks kind of interesting. Other companies, known addresses. Now, here's an interesting thing. It gives a different address. It gives 3649 Oceanside Drive, Green Bank, instead of 3953. That's why I had, 3653, which is the house next door, which I hadn't gotten to the point of looking to see if he owned that one too. But anyway.
Yeah, he's our Samuel J. Parker, 19-year veteran.
So let's not worry about that right now, though. We got other fish to fry here. This is an officer of another company, the Vessel Vassals. The heck? State of Nevada. Vessel Vassals, huh? Okay, whatever that is, I don't know. We could Google it if we wanted to, but I'm not that interested in it right now. That's another path we can go. So that's not going to get me anywhere. Let's go to the Wikipedia, because a lot of times you can get some good info from Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing I find interesting about this is that in a lot of places they show this guy as being the founder of PetSmart, one of the founders. Now, I know that because I've been looking at this a little bit, so I've pre-done some of this, okay? But you see here they're showing a different guy, Jim Doherty, as the founder. And financial backing of Phillips Van Heusen, incorporated in the name of Pacific Coast Distributing. They were open in Phoenix, okay? So how the heck have we come up with that this guy was involved with Petco? So we have to go and look some more here. I got to remember where I found it, because there was a very specific spot that it showed up. Maybe if I went W.R. Smith.
A little bit down. Southern.
Whoa, that's a new name. Will Smith, head of PetSmart. I didn't see this before.
That's
Different Will Smith.
hey, wait a minute. That's not the same Will Smith, man. Maybe it's his brother.
I don't think it's the same guy. I mean, it is a fairly common name. Let's see here. Okay, so here's an interesting one. This is the one where I got the confirmation. PetSmart is a private company under the retail industry that was founded in 86 by W.R. Ford Smith II and Jim Doherty. Okay, so here we have that he was the one that helped found it in 86.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now if we go back to the Island County Assessor, or actually we'll go back to Zillow, boom, we can scroll down to see there's tax history. Okay, where is the info? Overview. There it is. Facts and features. It always hides. So price and tax history is a good place to look. Well, that's interesting. There wasn't a lot on it. There wasn't even anything less above it before 2013. Mm-hmm. So let's close this. Let's go for the well, this is confusing because this house that they showed as the main house is actually under a completely different guy's name.
So this, okay, so you're saying this, the main house was under somebody else's name.
Yeah. And that's who I started digging on initially because, and I could find no connection between him and PetSmart. So I looked at one of the other parcels and I'm like, well, wait a minute, what's this guy's name? And this guy's name's attached to all the other parcels. So anyway, facts and figures. Oops. See complete tax history. I mean, this has been assessed real high for a long time. It was 790 up to over $1 million in 08 before the crash. It still hasn't recovered to that level. Let me do this. Year built 1900, blah, blah, blah. We know that's not true. Okay. Of course, the one time I want to find it, it's not giving it to me. On here, they also give you price history. Let's look at that one. There it is, price and tax history. Okay, so if we look, it was sold in 2015, and then probably not much happened. But then if we go to tax history, we see, oh, it was just blank, empty land. Well, maybe not. Yeah, big price jump here. So it went up $130,000. So that's probably when the caretaker house was built.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at that, you can see that that's when, I mean, you got almost 100% jump in property taxes. That's a major different. Hey, Steve, what's up? Good to have you, buddy. I didn't even know you had that.
Up, Steve.
Oh, I guess this is YouTube anyway. So, anyway, you can see that there's a pretty big jump there. It's about a 100K jump right there, 120K. So that's an indicator that the house is built in 2015. I can tell you from what I saw earlier that this whole compound was built in about 2012. that seems to be about the time frame that most of this happened. Now, was this guy expecting 2012 to be the end of the world like everybody talked about? Maybe.
Yeah.
But it seems funny that they're still stocked to the rafters and toilet paper and napkins and 4 trailers full of freeze dried food, and it's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So we do some more digging on W.R. Smith, and when I did some work digging on him, Ford Smith is what I knocked it down to. So if we go Ford Smith, and it all depends on your search parameters on what comes up. So this pops up a white pages page, which I have here. And here we go. We got a hit. Wilburn Smith II, Coopville, which is where we know that it is. Greenbank, which is another name. Okay. Oops. Click.
Oh, something went wrong.
Oh, it logged me out of it. So good thing I have it right here. Oh, they're blocking me from looking at it.
Look at that.
Wow.
There. Now it sees it again.
Okay.
Weird. So anyway, I saw the Coopville, I saw the Greenbank. Those are the 2 names of the 2 properties. Those are unique enough that I think we can pretty much say, yeah, this is the guy, especially when we see Smith II. Okay. So we know that this guy is who we're talking about, Wilburn Smith. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is where I kind of cut it off earlier because I don't really have, didn't really want to go any further because this was already quite a bit of stuff. And I mean, you see where we've gotten all this information. I mean, we're laying out this guy's life effectively. I mean, now we know that he's got places in Linwood, Seattle, Sammamish, Issaquah. We could potentially go to the King County website, assessor's website, and maybe find information on him there. I did look at that earlier. King County doesn't let you search by name. Some counties do, some counties don't. Linwood is in Snohomish County, and we can certainly go look at that and see. Let's just go Snohomish County Assessor. And this is how you find stuff. And you don't go to these property records. You always look for the county.gov sites.
Mm-hmm.
These other ones, you're just not. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Man, we'll just go here. Online services. Popular interactive tools. See if it lets me. Oh, that's interesting. Yep, it's dead. So let's go with the just looking here. All right. Scopy. And this is a GIS, which is where you typically will go. So let's see here. Okay, so they don't let me list by name here either, which sucks because that's the one way to find it. You'll find that sometimes you get websites that'll let you search by name, others won't. Since we only have a name to work with at this point, I can't really go any further here. I could potentially Ford Wilburn, Ford Smith. Let me do this. Just bring me up Ford dealers.
Yep.
So this guy's actually pretty well hidden.
Yeah.
Is considering he was somebody that obviously had some influence and obviously had some money. It's pretty interesting.
I've noticed they do that sometimes with people who have a lot of money. They're able to stay buried a lot better by, you know, okay, you're going to look up this guy's name. It has Ford in it. Cool. You're just going to see all these Ford dealerships, everything like that, you know, which means you're going to have to really dig or find a different way around that.
Let's see. Bothell. Brings that one up again.
I wonder, maybe if we drop the Ford out of the name. No, wait a minute.
How about his phone numbers? There we go. Boom.
Wow.
Yep, there we go.
So Bothell is King County, which means I can go backwards. Let me go King County here. I can search. And, you know, oh, Jesus, I just did it. See? Don't do what I just did.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, exactly. Look up property info. EMAP. Okay, that's by map. I don't want that one. Parcel viewer. By address. Okay, there's the address. So where did I find it here? Was this in here? Oops, did I just stop screen share? Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
I clicked on it.
There it is.
I was right next to it and I clicked it. So 17410 102nd Avenue Northeast. Remember that. 17410 102nd
Second Avenue
Northeast.
Northwest, I think. I think it was Northwest.
Northeast.
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 Okay, so search. There it is right there.
Okay.
Smith, WRF Ford the third. Jesus criminy. Prices are ridiculous in that area. This is just a neighborhood, by the way. This isn't anything fancy. This is what we talk about price in Seattle and why it's ridiculous. See what the appraised value on that house is?
Oh, yeah.
Can I convert this to... I'm just curious. Because I'm just kind of a dick this way. This guy's got houses all over.
Yeah, he does.
That's a pretty nice big house, though. But where that is, I know right where that is. That is... Wow. I'm surprised that that's high dollar value there. Yeah, I guess that's up in Juanita. That's a little bit of Snootyville.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there you go. So, I mean, this is the kind of thing that we can find out. It's just too tiny. Can't see. What couldn't you see, Storm? Sorry. I got this stuff all blown up really. Oh, this Does that make it better? But 1.12 million or 1.1 million dollars for that house. So he's got a house here in Bothell at 1.1 million. He's got a place up on Whidbey Island. He's selling for 6 million. The place in Linwood's probably $500,000 without even breaking a sweat. And I'm not even going to talk about Issaquah and Seattle and those places.
Yeah.
Those areas are ridiculous. That's where all the Microsoft people live, is in Issaquah. So anyway, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of stuff on this guy. I'm not finding anything on him. I'm not finding any sort of articles that include his name much, other than, this kind of stuff. So it's a little, you run into dead ends like that. And it's possible the guy's completely and totally clean. Hey, Wolf, what's up, man? There's nothing here that's really jumping out. I mean, well, I guess I can't say that. There is a lot of stuff that's jumping out at me here. I mean, the prepper mentality that way overboard. And I guess, honestly, if I had that kind of money, I might go that far.
Mm-hmm.
But that just, wow. And the fact that it's on Whidbey, which again is a known child trafficking area. And Whidbey also has, all this other stuff. And a lot of attention has been pointed at Whidbey Island. Between the missile launch, and somehow Keytron Island everybody got focused on Whidbey because of Keytron. And, that whole thing too. And even though they're opposite sides of the state, effectively, I mean, one's north, one's middle, that's still that Whidbey. Everybody keeps coming back to Whidbey, and I'm not sure why that is so much. And well, let's just take a look here.
Well, you do have a lot of access, in that area.
Yeah. Well, and we go to Q, and the only Q drop about that even mentions Whidbey is here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember that this mentioned Whidbey. Oh, it's in the image name.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but still, I mean, there's something here. We need to investigate it. Now, it's easy to think that, okay, this is, an access point to the water. Well, this is high bank. If you remember the video I showed, they showed a drone picture off here, and that was probably a 40 or 50 foot high bank, sandy bank. You're not climbing that. So, but the interesting thing is that remember when I was talking about the sub launch?
Yeah.
And the missile launch? That's right here.
Wow.
This is on the path. In fact, let's utilize that. Let's go to my Google Earth. Let's go to missile launch. Click the magic button. That turns all my missile launch stuff on. And I've got the garage marker there still. Oh, would you look at that?
Holy cow. Man, I love your maps, Danno.
So this yellow band here is the band of where the missile potentially could have been launched from. Wow. So I'm pretty confident that that was a sub-launch boat or a sub-launch missile, based on the work I've done and all the stuff I've done. But I'm not always willing to rule out. I mean, one of the most important things that, and Joel and I were talking about this before we got online, is when you're digging is you can't close your mind.
Yeah.
Your mind has to be completely and totally open to any possibility, even if it goes against something that you've already figured out, because you may have had a bad piece of information that you figured out over here that led you to an erroneous conclusion. Whereas if you are over here and you're finding info and it's pointing you in this direction, you need to follow it and find out where it goes. So let's take a quick look at this. Now, what's necessary for an ICBM? Okay. Here. Let's just do this. ICBM silo. Okay, and let's look at images. Okay, so here's a picture of what an ICBM silo kind of looks like. Now, this is an older one. I'm going to say that's pretty old based on the cards and stuff. But as you can see, there's a pretty big area here. I mean,
Yep.
You've got a car there for reference. Okay. So you've got, I don't know, what, 100-foot square pat,
Yeah,
thing here.
roughly. Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another one that shows it's a little dirt area, but you still have a pretty big 20-foot hexagonal head that would slide back with a little bit of a circular concrete pad around it. And I think this is a little bit more modern. Okay. So we can utilize that to understand the sizing that we need. Okay. So let's go back. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff here. You can see this is a flip back one, but they all have a concrete pad around them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be looking for that when you're looking. Okay. So let's scroll in here. Now there's this, which we saw in the video was a water tank.
Yeah, a water tank.
Okay.
Well, water tank, that's what they said.
Well, that's very true. I mean, that very well could be not what it is, but it sure did look like one.
Yeah, it did.
So this is about a 28-foot diameter. Now, what diameter did I just say some of those were? They look like they were probably 100 feet.
Yeah,
So
about 100-foot pad.
Let's measure that out here. 100-foot pad. That's going to be about the size of this garage. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to hide.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because trees don't grow on concrete.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, that's a pretty big piece to hide. Well, you got this area here, but that's dirt. There's nothing there. And again, this yellow line is the very westernmost limit of what we could have seen. So, I mean, we're right there. I mean, we're right on it, but, most likely it was. Quarries make wonderful hiding spots.
Oh, yes. Yes, they do.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Did you? Well, interesting. So I wonder what kind of quarry this is. Or is this a cement plant? There's a mix truck.
Yeah. It looks like a cement plant.
There's two more there. This is a freaking cement plant across the street from the garage. Okay.
Why would they need that so close?
Well, now remember, what's the big link down south in Arizona and stuff? Cemex.
Mm-hmm.
The cement plants.
And
then what are they using? They've got the formula for human blood to make better cement.
Yeah.
Or blood, but we all know it's human.
I
don't know. There's something here.
There it is. That's really close.
But what do we have? I mean, and that's the thing. So this warrants a full-on dig as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, we need to find out who owns that right there. Like what
the
quarry?
That.
Yeah, the quarry.
Oh, I can do that probably. Boom, 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 boom.
And if they have a parent company that runs them.
Here, Coopville Cement. That's all we need to do here. Coopville Cement. '27th Rempel Brothers Concrete.
crazy.
Yep, Twisted Trigger Lane. That's it. So it's Rempel Brothers Concrete. Okay. So let's dive down that rabbit hole.
Might as well.
There's concrete Coopville. Across the lower mainland and Fraser Valley? Well, that's interesting because the lower mainland and Fraser Valley is British Columbia.
Yeah, I was just seeing that it was based out of Canada.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what it's
Saskatoon? Oh, they're big.
Saskatoon area. Yeah.
So that's across at least 2 or 3 provinces and into the northern states.
Yep.
So let's go to let's go here. Oh,
Edward Rempel. Added.
Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm.
Services. Contact. Wow, they don't really give us much room to find more on their website, do they?
No.
Okay, so let's go back here and let's get rid of Wilburn Smith. Rempel Brothers Concrete. Lehigh Hansen appears to be a big part of it. Here's one in Chilliwack, BC. There's one in Langley, Coopville. Huh. Surrey. Let's do locations. Oh, let's try this. Let's see if it's smart. Oh, Brothers Concrete. Did I only find the one? Yep. So that's really interesting. They don't give you their locations.
Mm-mm.
Whoa, this is new. Oh, Lehigh Hansen. So it's part of Lehigh Hansen then.
Yep.
So let's go to Lehigh Hansen. Locations.
Heidelberg Cement Group.
Right. Let's use Whitby. 2 cents. Harbor, I believe. Holy moly.
Wow, look at that. Okay, so
we want cement
yep.
or ready mix.
Boom, look at that. That's pretty
Yeah.
close.
Oh man, Redmond. Oh, Cadman is part of that. Do you have Cadman over where you are?
Yeah, I believe so. The name's very familiar.
Sky River, Woodinville, Everett, Victoria, BC, Bellingham, Ferndale, Linden. Wow. There are a lot of them. So I guess we could maybe start thinking along those lines. I'd like to see if there's a connection between Cemex and Lehigh.
Yeah.
And Brenda, there is a subport that's just probably 10 miles from that site. It's called Bangor, Washington. It's where the ICBM boats or the Ohio class subs are all kept. So Lehigh Hansen, Cemex partners.
Hansen Company by Cemex subsidiary.
What was that? I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
Found one on Pitt and Quarry. Lehigh Hansen Company purchases Cemex subsidiary April 18th, 2017. Pacific Northwest Materials. How do I send this link to you?
Oh. My Twitter.
Chat.
Grab it.
Let me see if I can do this. You see that?
Where did you send it? Did you send it through?
To the chat.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. It takes a little bit sometimes. There's about a 5 to 10 second delay.
So it looks like this Lehigh Hansen or Heidelberg Cement Group started in Germany.
What? Wait, Heidelberg now?
Yeah, it was right under the Lehigh Hansen when you were looking at it there.
Oh,
It said Heidelberg Cement Group.
Yeah, that's in this link too. Yeah, Cadman Heidelberg Cement Group.
Yeah, and they're started in Germany.
So there's a Germany link, which raises all sorts of eyebrows too. Now, okay, I want you guys to stop and think about this. This all started with a home for sale.
Yep.
Okay, we're now looking at connections to International Concrete and Cement, which has already been established. Cemex has already been established as part of Pedogate.
Yep.
Okay, so we have now just hooked that home for sale into Pedogate.
Yep.
Okay, everybody needs to understand the enormity of these kinds of things. We just found this right now together as a group, looking as a group, and each of us kind of doing our own thing. That's why the anons and the digging is so important, because this is the kind of stuff that we come up with. This is the kind of stuff that we find. This is the kind of things that they can't hide either. So, I mean, it's just amazing. And that's kind of why I enjoy doing these digs as a group, because, you know, Joel found something that I wouldn't have found. Somebody else is, I didn't catch who that was trying to send me the link. I didn't see.
Not feelings facts. Yeah, I sent it over. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
it.
hey, I just see NFF, so sorry.
Yeah, it's good.
You know, send it, you know, that she found a link to something else that ties us in.
Yep.
We all come at it our own ways. We all find our own solutions. And this is why the group think, the group hive mind is so powerful. And that's what they knew when they formed the Q thing. And this is what they activated. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show everybody, number one, that it works. Number two, how to do it, at least on your own to a degree. And number three, anybody can do it. You just got to dive in and try. I've given you some tools. I've shown you some things. There's more out there. There's other diggers that do it differently. I don't want to say better. They do it differently. They come up with other reasons. They come up with other ways of getting at it. they'll be able to search the corporate backside. I suck at that. You start showing me legal mumbo jumbo and I'm asleep in 30 seconds. So, I just can't, or facts, numbers but there's people that specialize in that kind of stuff, and they see that and they can suss out the same kind of stuff that I can suss out of maps, So anyway, where do we go from here? I mean, we can make a thread about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's maybe worthy of doing so.
So I'm looking at the history of the Heidelberg Cement Group.
Yeah.
They started in Heidelberg.
Really?
They started manufacturing Portland cement pretty early on. But then in 1977, they're talking about the jump over the pond into North America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some stuff here for sure, Danno.
So the Heidelberg Cement Cemex link is the one that we really need to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
So Heidelberg. Does that look right? Heidelberg.
Yep.
Globalcement.com. There's a globalcement.com. Did anybody know about this? This is European. Wow, Heidelberg is bigger than Cemex.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to see here.
Holy Jesus.
It's got a lot to it.
Company Pacific Northwest Materials and Cemex, subsidiaries of
Heidelberg. Or Pacific Northwest Materials is a subsidiary of Cemex?
Pacific Northwest and Cemex are subsidiaries consisting of aggregate, asphalt, ready-mix concrete operations in Oregon and Washington, sold to Cadman Materials, Inc.
Right.
A Lehigh company. Cadman Heidelberg Cement Group. CADMAN.
Yeah, no, I know Cadman really well. I've been almost run over by their trucks a number of times. I'm from the area, so that's why I know the name very well. In fact, I think I had a friend that used to drive for him. I just saw somebody ask where the launch spot might have been. Tina, if we go back here to this, I don't think I have it all here, but the launch spot was probably right about here is what I basically figured based on all the work I had done. This is where the camera was. Whidbey Naval Air Station's up here, right there. There was no way the missile came from that far away. You wouldn't have been able to hardly see it from that distance. I mean, that's a lot of feet. It's almost 30 miles away. That missile would have not been easily seen. Oh, Planned Parenthood and cement plants?
Oh, really?
Well then, I feel like I'm probably going to need to be cracking out some other capabilities here.
So let's see here. In the Heidelberg Cement timeline, in 2005, Merkel Group acquired nearly 80% of Heidelberg Cement shares.
Merkel?
I don't know if it's the same Merkel we're thinking of because I think it's spelled differently. It's Merckle.
Oh, isn't that a pharmaceutical?
That's what I was trying to look up here. Merkel. Merkle Group. Trying to figure out what they're dealing in here.
Okay, I got to clear some stuff out of here. Too much stuff. Okay.
Okay, so global performance marketing agency based in Columbia, Maryland, and is part of Dentsu Aegis Network. Merkle Computer Systems was founded in 1971 as part of Merkle Press. So these guys have their hands in a lot of stuff. No, that's got to be a different one. That name is spelled differently right there.
Okay, I can use this. Here we have Planned Parenthood locations. I don't care about those, but I can grab this. Bear with me here. Now, let me show you guys something that I do. Okay, I use Paint Shop Pro, but you can do the same thing in Photoshop and any other thing. You can capture the screen of what you're going to grab. Now you can do that by file, import, screenshot. That's the one I'm looking for. Start is just Shift C. So, and then I can right click on this and it grabs what's on the screen and imports it into Paint Shop Pro. It's really handy for grabbing like a single frame out of a video or something like that. Now let me show you the power of what that just did, what that just gave me. Okay, so I'm cropping this down so it's a little less messy. I'm also going to I can't do that here. I'm also going to get rid of all this because that's distracting as all hell. Actually, I could do this a different way. Flood fill. Oops. Sample color. Flood fill. Boom, boom, boom. Close enough. And then clone brush to make it go away for good. Okay, there we go. See, it's gone. File, save as, and I always put stuff on the desktop for when I'm working. PP map stands for Planned Parenthood. Now, what that allows me to do is it allows me to go to my Google Earth and I can do this layer trick that I do. And you got to kind of preset it up so it doesn't, I don't know why it's so wonky on how it does it, but you can get it pretty close. And you browse and you go find your picture that you just saved, and voila, you have. Now you can see the yellow outline of this of the US underneath it, so it's pretty easy to utilize this to get it centered and somewhat proportioned correctly. You're not always going to get exact because not every map is done correctly, but you can certainly get close enough for the government. So there we now have, in that very short amount of time, we now have a Planned Parenthood map on Google Earth. That quickly.
Awesome.
I've got some experience at it, so it's a little bit easier for me. But the other thing that's cool is you can set your transparency here too. So you can zoom it in and out and get it more or less transparent. So Planned Parenthood map. Oh, that's not where I want that to be. Bear with me here. Shoot. It's gonna suck. realize I had that open. Okay, I need to find the map overlays. There it is right there. Okay. So, I mean, like if I want to compare Planned Parenthood to human trafficking, hey, I can do that now. What do you know? Jesus Christ, I should have thought of that earlier.
Dude, look at that.
And again,
That.
all of this from a house for sale. You know?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it can take you in so many different directions. You just have to be open-minded about it and kind of just follow where the data takes you. Don't try to force it to be anything it's not. Just let it take you.
yep.
And this is the kind of stuff you see. Now, what did they suggest? What else did you suggest? Thank you, Gene. I appreciate your suggestion. That was awesome. And cement plants. That's going to be a little harder to find, I think. So, cement plant. The hardest part is usually finding the map. Once I've got the map, I'm pretty good. Oh, well, here you go. Okay, that's only part of the U.S. I want the rest of it. Why couldn't you give me a good version of this? Oh, you bastards.
No joke. Emma's suggesting to look up Adolf Merkel. I'm going to go do that real quick then.
Oh, did Polly already run down on this one? Yeah, she's gone down a lot of good paths. I haven't really followed up on the cement thing too much other than the fact that I know that it's there. Now, see, I know there's more cement plants than what they're showing here. But I can utilize that as an idea. Well, it's a USGS site. Now, see, here's the problem we're going to run into. You see how this is a curved top of the US here?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't translate well onto the Google Map thing. You have to have a flat top version for it to work that way. They have to be, or I can just overlay it on another version of that Planned Parenthood map, but then it has to have the curved top too, so that I can put the two of them together. But then I can't correlate it with any of the other maps I have because it doesn't go to Google Earth.
Ooh. Okay. So yeah, Emma was onto something here with Adolf Merkel. He was born in Dresden into a wealthy family. In the early 1970s, he founded Germany's first generic drug manufacturer, Ratio Farm.
I knew drugs.
Check this out. At the end of 2008, Merkel's investment company, VEM, or I don't know how to say that in German, faced a liquidity shortage. VEM said in a public statement that it had shored up the equity capital of Heidelberg Cement to support the acquisition of British cement maker Hanson using loans backed by shares as collateral. Interesting.
And we're already at the point where every one of us is going in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And we're figuring it out. FedEx US.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Storm Warning Mom pointed that out. Adolf Merkel committed suicide by train in January 5th, 2009.
Yeah, the Wayfair thing is something that we know about as well, Emma. The problem is that we have so many different avenues that they utilize to traffic. that we could line them all up if we wanted, if we could figure it out, but it's only going to tell us what we know, that there's a ton of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying that, yeah, there's a lot of places it can go. Trump train. Yeah. Lots of people getting run over by that one.
Okay. Touche. That was pretty funny.
What the hell? Purple runway? Okay, this is weird as shit. FedEx purple runway?
Wait, what?
Yeah. FedExPurpleRunway.com. It's like they're they go to the Caribbean too. Oh boy.
Huh.
What did we just open up?
I don't know. Looks like you've got quite a few of them in your state, Danno.
Yeah.
Got a couple in mine too.
Yeah.
In Coeur d'Alene.
Okay, I gotta go look at this map. The Caribbean. There's no map for the Caribbean. Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, no joke.
Because boy, what I could do with that. So basically what this is their feeder fleet comes from 367 777s. Here, I want to look at something here. I have not seen what this is yet. Okay, so this is probably an airplane that could get in and out of small runways. So this is part of what they use for their fleet right here.
Looks like they're using, Cessnas.
Yeah.
Hey, wasn't there a Cessna that went down up in near Whidbey Island about 11 months ago?
Yeah, it was just a regular commuter plane, though.
Just regular commuter plane.
I mean, a regular. Yeah, I never did see who was involved in that, though. I never got the names. Oh, no, I did. I looked at the names and nothing really jumped out.
Okay. So it must have just been civilian owned or something.
Yeah.
Says it's connected to Empire Airlines and Mountain Air Cargo.
Okay. Empire Airlines, Mountain Air Cargo.
In that, if you go to the contact, it tells you about the eligibility of this program underneath your purple runway there.
Yep, that's where I am there. Okay, so this must be some sort of feeder program. Oh, this is a feeder program not for the freight, but this is a feeder program for pilots. But what it's doing is it's showing where they go, which I did not know they had the small puddle jumpers that were running out to the Caribbean. Now, what better way to move stuff around than put it on a puddle jumper out of the Caribbean and head it into Florida or Texas or wherever?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we know about all sorts of stuff. That goes on as far as, well, I mean, we've seen the pictures of the Asian kids that are bundled up like cargo and shipped that way.
Yeah.
In suitcases and crap like that. So we know it happens. We know the networks utilize that. So there's no reason not to think that this isn't a potential way of their doing it.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that part of the network that was getting stuff out of the Caribbean had to have been plane based, but we know about all the drug smuggling planes, but what other things are they smuggling?
Exactly.
You just-
Sometimes they do both at the same time. A lot of times they do.
yeah.
Because unfortunately, I know that some security slack off, and the first thing they open and look at, they go, "Oh, it's all the same. It's just however many, crates of this."
Yeah, there's cardboard.
Exactly.
Good enough.
Exactly.
I've seen this a million times. Don't need to bother wasting my energy on anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, greenhouse gases. That's important. Click. Sorry.
Oh, I understand completely, man.
I saw a map. I clicked,
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, how can that be an interactive map? It's the size of my thumbnail. Literally. All right, I'm not seeing what I need here. I mean, I really want this one.
Yeah, it's just you've only got a section of it. Unless, wait a minute.
Hey, let's actually open the map.
I don't know. It's a novel idea. Oh, there we go.
Okay. No, I don't want to be that close. I don't want to be that far away. Where's my zoom? Wow, that's a touchy zoom. Can I fit it? Close enough. So this is interesting. There's not that many cement plants. I don't care about population density because that's not what I'm interested in. That's kind of a cool map.
Yeah.
So we'll just say the black dots because apparently the black dots are cement plants. So we're going to play the same game because I like to get as big as I can get every time as far as captures go.
So I think it's interesting that Heidelberg Cement also looks like they also own Ratio Farm, which is a German pharmaceutical company that is Europe's leading generics brand. And it was founded by the Merkel family in Ulm, Germany. So they've got ties with this cement that's, like a parent company to all these other ones over here.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also got their hands in generic pharmaceuticals over in Germany.
Sounds like they've got a lot on their plate.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so we're going to lay this one as a cement plants. Boom. Go find picture right there. Fits pretty good. Oops, no, it doesn't. Not yet. It's not exact, but I can make it work. Okay, so we've got cement plants. Let's lay the Planned Parenthood over the top. Okay, let's Oh, no wonder it's being slow. Got all my Antarctica stuff turned on too.
You never know.
Not helping us here. So I'm seeing some correlation, but I would say that's more population center correlation than anything else. I mean, there's a lot of uncorrelated dots all over. So I'm not going to get too worked up about the idea. There's one there. There's run right there. Yeah, I mean, like I say, some of this is just going to be population overspill. I mean, but there's plenty of these here that are out in the middle of nowhere that don't necessarily have. Now, again, this may not be complete information either. I mean, it's hard to know, do you have, is it actual cement plants or is it a ready mix plant? Or, I mean, they've got them in different categories too.
Yeah.
And not all quarries are the same either.
True.
So, wow. I need to find that FedEx map. Anyway, as you guys can see, a simple query and a simple dig can turn into a monster real fast. And that's one of the ways I've kind of learned that if you're onto something, you're onto something. And that kind of doesn't make sense, but let me clarify that. If you're onto something, it blows up into this huge thing that encompasses everything real fast, because that's how this is all put together. It all is linked together. You've got all these connections between all these little parts of the cabal and all these little nefarious activities they have. So naturally, if you're into a section of it, you're gonna get into that big ball of yarn.
Yep.
If you don't get to that big ball of yarn, you're probably not onto something.
Yeah.
We're here and we're big ball of yarn. I mean, we went from a house for sale on Whidbey Island, and we've now gone to FedEx and cement plants and PetSmart. And I mean, how many different major corporations and entities have we already just kind of casually tied into this? And every one of them has a known potential issue in the past. So realistically, this is what it is. I mean, this is how it works, and it's nonstop. There's certain digs I've worked on that I've actually had to put artificial limits on it because I would have never been able to finish it if I hadn't have done that.
Yep. Or not go down certain paths, kind of stick to the one you were generally heading in, because some of them just go,
Yeah, they explode, literally.
Yeah.
There was I helped someone with a big dig on trafficking in bears ears down in Utah down there. And I did a lot of work on the maps and stuff like that with them, and it was crazy where that was going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we tied in the cartels, the Mormons, Romney. I mean, so many people that it was just incredible. And you knew you were on the right path because this was all being tied together. It's all linked in some way, shape, or form. And when you start seeing the same names starting to pop up time and time again, it becomes even more of a aha, how come I keep seeing this person, or how come this name keeps getting in, put into this. I just have an idea here, since I have it easily accessible. Gee, what a surprise. Anybody recognize that?
Oh, look at that. Small wonder.
Yeah, Epstein.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for showing us, because I think I've been trying to force information to be produced. You know what I mean? Like if I find something I want to dig on, I'm looking for something specific.
Mhm.
and I'm not just following the trail. And I did an unfortunate thing, and I've got you on my phone, and where my computer is at, it's in kind of a common area where if I try to talk to you guys, you're probably not going to be able to hear me. So
Oh,
I just want to say thank you for your time, because this is very helpful.
you're welcome.
Absolutely.
Then you're telling me that it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. It's
Exactly.
giving-
You have to just let it take you where it's supposed to take you, not force and look for something specific.
And the problem is if you try to force it to be something specific, you're putting your own beliefs and structures into the data,
Yeah.
and that skews it. And you really can't do that. You have to just let it lead you. So, you know, I mean, I'm glad that what we're doing here is helping you see that and see a change that you can do that makes you a more effective digger and lets you find information more better.
Right, because when you see people's Twitter threads, when you see the threads on Twitter, it's just almost like it's magic. And I realize it takes a long time. And you know, when I first started following, I used to follow on the boards. And it's interesting to see how you find the information that gets populated instead of seeing the result.
Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to do this, is because I think that so many people, number one, they don't understand the amount of work that goes into some of these threads. You know, like my Antarctica stuff, I've got months of work into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in when you start to realize the amount of time and effort and the amount of staring I did at it, yeah, I'm pretty familiar with that whole area down there. So, you know, you become kind of a subject matter expert in a way on some of these things. But also it's very interesting where the data takes you. And like I say, it's you got to kind of just ride it, you know, let it take you where it wants to go. If you try to force it, you're just going to get bad info out of it. So I'm glad that you were able to see that.
It does. It helps a lot. But on that note, I'm going to tap out. I just wanted to make sure to let you guys know, thank you for your time.
Not a problem. And thank you for being here. I appreciate
Absolutely. You guys all good luck. And I'm sure I'll see a snarkish Danno thread on this one here.
You may. I don't know.
Likely.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
You too.
Thank you.
Hey, you guys.
Yes.
This is Violetta here.
Hi,
Thank
Violetta.
you so much. I follow you on Twitter, but this by far makes me appreciate you so much more, because I not seen all these live, like the other lady said, you know, it's just a thread, you read it, it's so easy, ready to share and stuff. But you know, the amount of work and the easiness of how you guys handle it, I'm completely surprised and appalled. Thank you so much for all you do. Seriously, I for once have you on notification on, but this primarily gives me like so much more open mind to see who you guys are truly, and the amount of work that's you know, spent and time and, you know, will to have other people wake up. I woke up halfway, first through spiritualism, and then finally through Twitter at COVID time, and it's been catch up time up to today, and I'm so behind. So much massive information, and now I appreciate everyone so much more, because wow, that's all I gotta say. Wow.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
We're all
Violetta.
so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I wish I had, you know, gone through like from the very beginning, and appreciate so much more the people that have gone down, like they got completely suspended from Twitter and other places, and you're like, wow. I mean, everybody has their own techniques. Some are more of the researchers like you guys, some are more of the like the memes and, you know, video clips and all bunch of things. But I think in a whole, everybody, you know, has a little bit grain of how to say this, everybody it's helping to one another share it one way or another.
Yep.
Everybody has a place, everybody has a function, everybody's contribution matters.
117%.
And just so you know, I share your live as I was working through here, stole my husband's phone. And I said, everybody, this is live. Please, go in. And a lot of the people are following you through YouTube instead of the Zoom because I couldn't get out. I didn't want to miss a thing. Thank you so much for all you do. Yeah.
You're welcome. And thank you for being here. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys so much more. God bless you. And let's have Trump for 4 more years. Really.
No doubt about it.
We need it.
Yep.
Done deal.
We definitely need it. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to go now. I appreciate you.
All right, Violet. Thanks for being here.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
It's always nice to hear that you're actually making a positive impact.
No, absolutely. That's what makes this all worth it.
You do it and you just kind of throw the stuff out there and in a lot of ways you're doing it for yourself because you're just, I want to do this. And since I've gone to all this work, let me put it together and give it to other people so that they can see it and appreciate it too. Yeah. But then, it starts coming back at, well, you're making a difference. You're making a difference. You're making a difference. It's like, whoa, okay.
Well, that's
thank you. It's great.
That hits you in, hits me in my feels,
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I wanted to pipe in and say thank you also. I do have to go too. And I just want to reiterate what those other 2 ladies said. I'm blown away. I really am about just this one right here really did it. And it's true what the other woman said about forcing information, because I did want to do a dig on IKEA and I was looking for specifics and now I understand why I couldn't find anything. So
sometimes there's nothing there.
And I'm thinking there is though. So I'm going to go start digging it. Okay.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
You bet, Connie. Thank you.
I guess we're winding down here.
Yep. And I think it is important to, point out everybody, definitely comes, they awake to this in their own way. It's,
absolutely. And
it has to be that way. You'll come to it on your own,
Well, and that's one of the reasons I've kind of been saying that, if your family hasn't gotten to the point of being awake, or your spouse or your kids or whatever, I guess that's all family, but anyway, don't force it, because it's not worth alienating the people that you're close to and the people that you love and the people that you're around daily to try to force an issue. The events will bring that about as it will. I mean, you're going to have the 4 to 6%. So you're going to have some people that that aren't going to go, but you have to be just accepting of that. And that's the way it's going to be. So I honestly think that we're getting close to the point where some of the big stuff's going to start hitting the mat, hitting the card table.
Oh yeah.
And the awakening is going to be unavoidable. It's going to keep people, they're not going to be able to not, see. So, anyway. Well, I think that's probably pretty much a wrap on this one. There's some more details that we can do, but there's no point in doing it online. I encourage everybody to take your ideas and run with it. Don't let it stop you. But again, don't force it. If you want to. If you want to find out what the truth is, don't try to force your own preconceived notions on it.
Right.
I'm happy to do random questions. What do you got, Angie? We wait for the delay and then type and... You're welcome, guys, and don't be afraid to stick around and ask questions. I mean, I'm both of us are more than willing to answer questions. We definitely have our ideas and opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And I do plan on doing more of these, just so everybody knows. I'm going to try to get different digger types in here. I have one person who's really good at doing military decodes. So they follow all the military stuff and they decode those tweets really well. We've got Brother Streetjoy, who's really good at doing other decodes.
That he's a smart cookie.
Smart cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Damon, I'll have Damon on sometime and we'll discuss Kazaria. So we've got a lot of people and a lot of resources that we can bring on that we can show people how to do things. So I would really like to do that. So, but we will go there. Was having a conversation with somebody and he said that you never said that Trump will be reelected. Thoughts on? Oh, Q. No, Q never comes out and directly says anything. I think that we can just take that to the bank that Q's never going to put out an absolute.
Right.
Well, unless it's irrefutable.
Wasn't there an anon on the board that had asked about if Trump didn't get reelected, and Q had mentioned something about that things were put in place to make sure what happened would never happen again.
Well, I think it was Plan Z,
which
was the military option, which is what they didn't want to do.
Right.
They were ready to do that if Trump didn't win in 2016. And I don't think that there was any reason why they wouldn't have just gone ahead and done that again in 2020.
Right.
But the plan is too well laid out and too well done. I really think that it's a foregone conclusion how this is going to come out. I mean, honestly, I'm tired of the election crap. I don't even watch it anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because it's just, I don't know. I get frustrated with it because I'm at the point where I want stuff to kind of move along. And I hate to say that because I never wanted to be one of those people, but at this point I'm kind of burned out on some of it. So I'm off of my own things here and doing my own stuff. And it's how I can still contribute and not just say, okay, I'm out for a while.
Done checked out. See ya.
Yeah. All right, Storm. Thanks for being here.
See you, Storm.
I don't know that I can have closed captioning, Emma. I'm sorry. I need to figure out what's going on. I don't know that that's something that can be easily turned on because I'm not sure how that would happen. I don't know that they can computerize that. I think that all has to be done manually.
Right. I think there might be an option where it kicks in the replay of the live stream.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to check in the YouTube settings, Danno, but I think that there is an option for that. But okay. It's high. I don't know if you can do it in live streams. I've never messed with that part of it. So.
Yeah, I would think that would be pretty difficult to do. But anyway, yeah, that's definitely something I can look into, and I'd be more than willing to turn that on. I have no issues about that. Earthquakes and volcano activity, both saying that USGS is hiding activity. It's possible that USGS is hiding activity, but here's the thing. If a volcano is erupting, we're all going to freaking know it. If there's an earthquake that matters, we're all going to know it. They can't hide the stuff that really matters. And, a lot of people have gotten all ooh about earthquakes. The thing that people have to understand, and keep in mind, this is another subject that I've studied for 40 plus years now. Hate to admit that, but I've been into it since I was like 8. Okay. So, I was 10 when Mount St. Helens went off. So I was glued to it. Okay.
Kind of makes an impression on a little kid,
Yeah. I heard it when it went off. So, it interrupted my Saturday morning cartoons. Of course I was mad. But I just thought it was the neighbor out hunting moles with a shotgun again. I didn't think anything of it. But anyway, anything that's smaller than about a 3.5 is not even worth talking about, because you're not even going to feel a 3.5. You might feel it as a slight little uneasiness in your body that you kind of go, what was that? But that's it. You're not going to notice it. 4.0, depending on where you are, those can start to get a little bit more. I've been in a 7 up here, and now I'll admit it was a really deep one. So it was a different than like a 7 in California or a 7 in the Midwest, but it was a jerk, and that's it. You know, I mean, I was in a parts store when it happened, and nothing fell off the shelves. So, I mean, you know, Mount St. Helens is going to have quakes constantly. I mean, Mount St. Helens is the most active volcano in North America, contiguous North America. There's maybe a couple in Alaska that are worse, but not many. It's always going to be busy. And a lot of those small earthquakes are actually rock falls within the crater. Rock falls can register up to about a 1.5 or a 1.7. So that's why I tell people not to get too wound up about those small little quakes, because they really don't mean anything. You know, I mean, you could have a rock that starts at the rim that just the rain erodes and it falls and it runs down and brings more stuff down with it. And by the time it hits the bottom of the rim, it's going to make some impact. I mean, you can go around, stomp your feet around, you know, within 40 or 50 feet of a seismometer and make it, you know, show that there's a 4.0 going on. So, I mean, they're really sensitive. I mean, they're super sensitive. So, and that's the thing that people have to understand. So, anyway, yes, I'm still on Twitter, Marcial. I'm haven't changed. It's still Snarkish Danno. I am heavily throttled and shadow banned, though.
Yeah, we figured that out pretty quick today.
So, I don't know. I expect to get banned at some point, but yeah, whatever. I'm not that worried about it. If it happens, it happens. Rain Man, if we go back and look at the ownership of the real estate, as far as the cement plants go, or what in specific were you discussing? Oh, there's an app for Google Translate that it translate live TV and streams. There you go. Thanks, Pamela. I appreciate that.
Nice.
Yeah, Kansas. I was there in the middle of a tornado one time, or a tornado warning. Sky turned to this really nasty color of green. It was like, ugh.
Oh, weird.
Oh, here, I should probably stop this and let the video come back up. There we go. Yeah, anything smaller than a 5.0 is really just not even a quake. We don't even up here, we don't even pay attention to it. Microsoft engineer owns what, Rain Man? I didn't catch what you were specifically referring to. I saw property ownership, but what? You talking about the cement plant, or yeah, green skies means I went and looked and I got my butt back inside. I was like, I don't ever want to see that again.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute, it's not a Pepe cloud. What is that?
No, it's not a cloud I want to be involved with. All right, people typing. Let me scroll up a little bit here and see what I missed. Oh, congrats, Big Patriot. That's good. Linwood following you. I think POTUS's lawyers are tied in to what's going on and the Q thing better than we think. Sydney's been dropping some awfully Q sounding.
Yeah. You're like, why does that sound so familiar?
Yeah. No problem, Betha. I'm glad that you guys are here and watching it. Let's see here. What happens when you start with a person's name is a similar process. Stephanie, yes, but there's different places you have to go. And I'll be honest, that's not something I'm very good at. There's certain ways that I can really find stuff out easily. Other ways I haven't learned the tricks yet. And that's one of the reasons why I want to make sure that we get some other type of diggers in here so that we can show you that there are other ways of doing it and show you the other tools necessary, because I'm going to learn from it too. So
yeah, that's the bonus, you know.
That's the bonus.
That's the bonus.
What else we got here? Rental truck business. Oh boy. You mean like Hertz and Avis, and even Enterprise has rental trucks now.
Yep.
And then you got all this Ryder. Boy, there's a lot there. You could definitely. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. There's a lot of room there. I do not think a civil war will happen. Everything that we're watching has been specifically planned to avoid exactly that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We're going through a great change in our country. And change is always fraught with peril. And that can happen with, there's one of the reasons that we're seeing it play out the way we are, and the reason it's going so slow is because of the need for this to not turn into a civil war issue. Because they could have arrested all these people, I don't know, probably 2018 or so, but they didn't. And the reason they didn't is because at that time, not enough people were awake, and it would have erupted into violence on the streets. And that would have turned into a civil war, and that would have turned into mass civilian casualties. They're doing everything they can to avoid that. I mean, they're trying to keep people from getting involved in it physically. They're doing what they can to make it so that we're digital patriots. We're not standing in the street with a gun in our hand trying to confront Antifa patriots.
Yeah.
There's things in place for that. Now there's going to be people that go out and do that, and that's their choice. That's their call. They can do that. But as digital patriots, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. That's not our job. We will answer the call if it ever comes, but our call will always be more digging, stuff like that. So,
yeah. And on a side note, I've talked to a lot of MAGA people who aren't specifically Anons. And a lot of them definitely are worried about a civil war. And so when I'm talking with them, I have to say, well, you got to kind of use logical thinking about what's actually happening here. Trying to lead them to the point of thinking, well, it's probably not going to devolve into a civil war because of what's being done legally. It has to be done legally and according to the law. There's really no point in doing this whole thing. We've got to have some sort of structure, but everybody's got to be held accountable to the same legal system. No more of this, well, I'm so rich so I can pay my way out of it. It's like, well, same thing for the rich man goes for the poor man. You have to abide by the same laws.
Big Patriot, I just saw you said dig AMD as in like AMD chipsets. I want to make sure I'm understanding the same terminology there. Cement plant, Parenthood, those shoes with feet still in them in the river there. What? Could you clarify that, Glenna? I didn't understand the last half of that statement. Shoes with feet still in them in the river there? Are you talking about the feet that were washing up on the shore in the Strait of Juan de Fuca? I believe that had to do with international shipping vessels. Okay, Big Patriot. No, I haven't dug into AMD yet. That's interesting. I just bought a computer with an AMD chipset. Am I going to be disappointed I did so? Violetta, Peru gets big ones. I mean, Peru, the only place that's gotten a bigger earthquake than Peru is Alaska. So, they make them big down there.
Yeah, no joke.
And FedEx and UPS both use rental trucks when they're running short. 3 Pandora's boxes. We are at number 3. And legal avenues, and a state that we don't want to get a box for, which is ammo. I suppose that's probably a one way of looking at it. The Anons look at it a different way. We see that we have 3 movies that we're watching, and we're now in the final, or rapidly approaching the 3rd and final movie.
Mm-hmm.
Once that hits, then we're gonna definitely know what's going on. That's when the pain hits right there.
Yep.
So that's where we know what's going on. Let's see here. Civil Wars. Yeah. You got to remember that a lot of these places, a lot of these radio stations are there for ratings, and they're going to say stuff and do stuff that's going to get the ratings. If it bleeds, it leads, and they're going to really, they're going to definitely throw it out there. So, submarines in Canada. I can't deny that one. And part of that is because I know that China has pretty much had a free reign up there. So we'll see. I'm confident in our Navy's capability over the Chinese Navy, though.
Oh, yeah. We've
been playing that game a lot longer than they have, and at a much higher level. So,
a lot biglier.
Yeah. And our boys know how to play for keeps. You got to remember, what was it, last year? USS Jimmy Carter, which is one of our attack submarines, came back flying the Jolly Roger not once but twice. What that indicates is that they had a successful combat mission. So, what were they combating?
Exactly.
So stuff's going on. Yeah, I know. I heard that she was talking about filing this week, Damon. So that would be really good if she could get that done. I mean, that's just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I live next to Buddha Gardens. They have bought lands across the U.S. Some strange things happening. The 3 foot all men dressed in blue dickies and blue jeans. Not one looked. Buddha Gardens. I'm not familiar with that. You're going to make me go look, aren't you? Oh. Buddha Gardens. Where is that? Montana? There it is right there. Garden of 1,000 Buddhas. Oh, it's within the Flathead Indian? What? A Garden of 1,000 Buddhas within a Flathead Indian reservation? That's kind of interesting. Huh, I don't know about that. I'll have to dig into it some. That sounds, I hesitate to use the term cultish, but I mean, it could be. I mean, that seems like a strange place to put one up. Although Buddhism is by far one of the least objectionable religions out there. So, well, Emma, the thing you got to realize is that POTUS has to keep distance between himself and Sidney Powell for optics. He can't appear to be giving any preferential treatment to anybody at all. So
Yep.
There's going to be, it's just like why he hasn't really outright come out and said, hey, Q is real, because he can't, not yet. So
Yeah, not yet.
legally he has to stay distant, because if he gets involved in it in any way, it's going to be seen as interference. So, and they want to do this all by the book, legally, spot on the money. So don't read too much into it. That's optics. That's to be expected. Well, Glenna, the Buddhists, are they Chinese Buddhists or are they Japanese Buddhists? Do you know? I'll have to dig and see if I can figure. Or are they Indian Buddhists? See, the Dalai Lama, man, that just opens up a can of worms.
Yeah, no joke. And I
I'll answer for Quiet Voice.
was hearing too, Sidney Powell isn't.
You're lagging out, Joel.
Oh, I'm lagging. Oh, sorry. Am I good now?
Yeah, you should be. I was just going to say to Angie, Quiet Voice has their own YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, please. They actually are the ones that kind of gave me my little break to get on the internet and do my videos. So I appreciate what they've done for me. So by all means, follow them. They have a lot of good shows. They have a lot of good guests. So
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
We might try to go live tonight, depending, see what's going on.
What was it you and I were talking about the other day, just a day or two ago, about being a good show, and we couldn't? Now I can't remember what the hell we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, we were. Now I'm drawing a blank. I bet you it's written down somewhere. I know it's got to be.
Hopefully, you keep better notes than I do. So,
well, I'm not the note keeper. That's all Carrie.
Oh, is that Carrie's job?
Yeah, she's the stenographer.
Well, was she present when we were talking about it?
Oh, that's a good question. I might have told her about it.
Okay.
If she wasn't, but
because there was an idea that we had that was like, oh, that'd be a really good show.
Yeah, I do remember that. There's so many things that pop up. You just like, all these are great ideas. You walk away and you're like, what were we talking about?
Okay, as far as prepping, it's always a good idea to have 2 weeks on hand. In any point in time in your life, you should always be ready for a 2-week downtime.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my standard answer. I know some people are saying as long as a month. It probably wouldn't hurt. Toilet paper is not going to be the thing you want to buy. You're going to want to buy ammo if you can find it, a gun if you don't have one. You're going to want to buy pantry type goods. You're going to want to make sure that you can have a heat source and a water source. If power goes out, people have to remember, we in this country have never really experienced any real hardships in the past 100 years, really. Great Depression, but anyway, what would your life be like if you didn't have running water or electricity for a month. Okay. That's the thought process you need to have when you do your prep. Don't worry about keeping your ass clean. That's minor. It's going to be the least of your worries. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but if you don't have water to flush the toilet, then what the hell's the point? Okay. So, it's good to be protected. Number one, warm water is more important than food. And then food would be number 4. So protection, gun, ammo, knife, sword, something. Warmth is important, shelter. So if you don't have a heat source, and I'm not talking about a plug-in wall heater either. I'm talking about an independent source that doesn't utilize a lot of power. Ideally, hopefully you've got a wood stove or something, or a wood burning fireplace at a minimum that you could huddle around with blankets. Because it's going to get cold here pretty soon. I mean, we're talking cold temperatures in parts of the country, and it's, without power, that's going to get pretty nasty.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying there's a potential, and because of that potential is what you need to be prepared for. So, and I think it'd be worldwide, Jen. I don't think it's just America. Yeah. I know that you guys can't necessarily have weapons, like we can. Regrettably, some people made that choice for you a while ago, and you're no longer able to have that. But I would really recommend that you figure out everything else and get ready. Again, it's not me saying it's going to happen. It's me saying it very well could. There's a big difference in those two, and I'm hopeful that nothing will happen, but even Q has kind of told us that we need to be ready. Yep. And there's things that can't always be avoided, and I think that's going to be one of them. And I think it's going to be important because I think we all in the Western world need to learn a little hardship again. Mm-hmm. I think a big part of our problem is the fact that we've forgotten how good we really have it. So let's see here. We can mention about prepping with food and water. Sidney Powell was born in Durham. Yeah. Dalai Lama. Yeah. Ugh. I agree. Helicopters and jets, and the military activity has been off the charts for the past week. If you guys don't follow MilOps, he is one on Twitter who does a ton of tracking of military vehicle aircraft, and he's been just seeing tons and tons and tons, like 1,300 aircraft aloft, military aircraft aloft at the same time over the U.S., which is just unprecedented. That's just huge numbers. So get really good at bow and arrow. Honestly, that's not a bad recommendation. Hunting bows and arrows are very, very good. And yes, Pamela, get with the folks that lived through the Great Depression. They know what needs to happen. They understand. They've been there without the food and the water. They know how to make bone soup, things like that. Yeah, Amy sure has gotten into a good plane fag. I'll give her that. So I want to get Amy on my show and have her explain her decoding. But I got to talk to her about that before I make any promises. And I want to let her back heel before we go there. Why so much air activity this last week, though? Anyone know what's up? No, I really don't know. I can only assume. I mean, the thing about an F-18 or an F-16 is that it doesn't make a really good vehicle for capturing people. It provides cover only. So I don't know what they always are up to. I assume it's pretty intense training. I assume they're getting ready for something big. But what it is, I mean, we can only guess as far as it being, you know, are they going to be going after picking up cabal members? Are they specifically going to be doing other things? So we need to just kind of be patient and wait and see. The fact that they're so active is a great thing because they were not very active for a long time. And now at this point they are. Metric fertility to say these large milk convo moving today. Okay, but where was it heading and where was it coming from, Patriot? That's what I need to know. Yeah, no call signs. That's not uncommon. Mill planes run without transponders often. Really? Spirit Airlines canceled our time flights at night in December. Flights only at noon. Changed it to February. They'll be resuming January 6 night flights. They told us due to concerned night flights. Now that's interesting. Have you heard anything about that, Joel?
About night flights?
Yeah. Word of McCarran.
No, I haven't.
I wonder if they're going to be doing some testing and stuff out that direction. Because McCarran's out to Area 51 and stuff. They may be being told to stay home.
Yeah.
Bluebeam. How much you want to bet?
Yeah.
It's about the last card they have to play.
Yeah. Bluebeam, man.
And that's right where they would be coming from.
Exactly.
Interesting. I'd like to get some verification on that. And towards DC doesn't surprise me, Patriot. DC is going to be the center of something major. I'm of the opinion, and I'm probably pretty alone on this one, but if we're going to get away from that whole corporate US thing and then Washington, DC has to cease to exist as an independent entity. And the only way you're going to change the seat of government is to destroy the town. Because I don't see people giving up the idea of the Capitol and the Lincoln Monument and the Washington Monument are freaking Egyptian obelisk.
Yeah.
But we need to get rid of the town because the town itself is a problem. It's completely and totally steeped in occultic and
very much so.
It was designed and built that way. So
look at some aerial pics of it. You'll definitely see some very strange occultic symbols on the ground.
The owl and the pentagram. I mean,
the whole city's laid out that way.
Yeah, it's really bad. So I really don't. My opinion is that at some point DC's got to be dismantled. Then they're going to have to move the seat of government elsewhere. And Washington DC will cease to exist as an independent entity. It might become its own state, but it cannot be the seat of government. It will not be what it is now. The Bluebeam thing was based on them restricting some flights going to McCarran's in Vegas, which is really close to, it's not far away from a bunch of big white sands. It's not far from Area 51. There's a lot of stuff up in that area that they're, and it'd be the area where the Bluebeam stuff would be coming from most likely. So,
yep.
Nuke it from orbit and start over, burn it, raise it, and then salt it. I like that. I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that has to happen. I mean, but I really do think it needs to happen as a purification for the country, for one, but also as a honest to God change in our direction. Our constitutional republic was never meant to have an independent city state like that. I don't think it's correct. So. Yeah, Millop is, like I said, Millop is good, and like Damon said earlier, Curious Camo is a good one too. They're both Curious Camo is actually a friend of Damon of mine, and she's spot on. I mean, the military actually sends her messages; they respond to her. We've seen it time and time again. She'll come up with a decode, and they'll fire right back with something else that adds to it or acknowledges it or something else. So, I mean, she's on it. They watch her. She watches them. It's mind blowing how good she is at it. Nuclear, well, a nuke pretty much is its own salt. I mean, you got to think about fallout and things like that. So it kind of forms the same function. But quiet voice. Speaking of nuke, quiet voice. What's that figure?
Oh yeah, Vault Boy.
From the Fallout game.
From the Fallout, yeah, the Fallout universe, yeah. Speaking of nuclear destruction.
And here, I'll show everybody mine because you've probably.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Stand up here. All right. Somebody actually made me a shirt that had "My treason is a season for dangling" saying on it. And that's Brennan. Yeah, right there. It's Brennan. So I'm trying to get her to open up a store so that I can send people her way to buy these, because I think there's a lot of people that will buy them. Vault 76. Yeah. You know, the best one was New Vegas. I'm sorry. I have
New Vegas was pretty good.
New Vegas was the best.
Yep.
I like the gameplay of 4, but New Vegas had the best storyline.
Oh yeah, totally. Mr. House.
Yes, Mr. House. Here, let me find his tag for you guys. Oh no, did he get booted? Oh no, it's got an underscore in it, doesn't it? There he is. There's his tag. Oh, is Bethesda doing the next one too, Damon? That'd be awesome. But not really what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to probably wrap it up here. We haven't got much more going here. I got to go get some stuff done. So we've been on for 3 hours now. So the time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, it does.
But Joel, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely, brother.
Hanging out with me. All you folks in chat and everybody watching, I really appreciate you coming by, seeing what's going on, hanging out. This was a good one. We will do this again. I need to build some threads. I don't have anything new right now that's burning, but I'll figure something else out and we'll get some thread videos going. But I definitely want to get some other people in here, like Amy, and I'd like to get Brother Street Joy in here and a couple other people, diggers. And Joel, Carrie's calling you. Go.
Oh, it's meatloaf night. No.
Let me post up Curious Camo's name here. Have a good night, Joel. Thanks.
All right, you too, guys. Hey, it was fun being here. Thanks, Danno.
Thanks for letting me borrow him.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.
Bye. There's Curious Camo's follow. definitely grab it. So anyway, have a good night, guys. Stay safe, get ready, be prepared, and most of all, just be good people. That's all we can be. So thank you, and we will chat later.